Hello everyone and welcome to Locke's Quest. Today we're going to be going back to Antonia to find things that we need to do. Now that we found Emmy, she'll be heading back with us. Emmy was found in part 14, of course. I got complaints about the audio level on that video, so I decided to record in a different area just to be safe. I didn't mean, when I responded to anyone, I didn't mean to. It's none of you all who are probably watching, other than, and the person will know what I was talking about. I didn't mean to be upset, to sound upset if I did. I just really wanted to understand where the audio level was going bad, and so I went to ask if anyone else felt it was there. I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad about it. Also in this part, we're also going to find out something about Emmy that probably no one would have seen coming. More than likely. Although, whoever was the writer of this game, I have to admit, they had... Ugh, lint on my mic. Anyway, they had some type of problem with with their foreshadowing, because they kinda, they keep hinting to something. Let's see that in part 13 and 14. So where they keep hinting to something, something's off about Emmy. They kept saying something about it, but they don't really... Oh, it's raining outside. They don't really keep a good, they don't keep it under the bench. They kind of just let it out and early on, and so anyone who has half a brain, probably, or at least is a well-matured adult that has played video games and seen different stories, will they'll see it. They'll see something coming to where it will make a difference in the character of Emmy. Either that or Locke, which that character change is not really. It doesn't affect the story as much as it probably should. There really should have been a major issue when they got to that point, but oh well. Does anyone else ever find it a bit odd that it sounds like, there's this commercial about radio in the car, and this music track right here reminds me of one of the, things that they're making fun of, which is like those, Catholic in the church, in the temple, singing, chanting, and, you know, things like that. Yeah, like that stuff. It sounds interesting. Another seer. It does mean something. If you just said that, it meant something, you idiot. I like what this seer is doing, but I also don't like what he's doing. He's implanting a seed by which will cause even more paranoia from Locke. But I also don't like that, because when you plant the seed of paranoia, the seed of paranoia is like a weed in a lot of cases, and it digs itself deep down into the roots of the more beautiful, naive but well-natured flowers. So when you add the weed of paranoia, it can really mess up an entire person's life. And yes, I did think of that all by myself. I don't know if people found that, somewhat deep. I don't, but then again, who finds any of their quotes deep? You're not even being used as a puppet right now. You're off duty, so... yeah. Yes! The best ability in the game! I love this ability. I don't believe I use it as much as I probably should have, but I love it. The Repair All ability, it basically repairs every wall. Like its name implies, it repairs every wall that you've ever set up if you use your super meter. Which is great, because when you're able to repair every wall, boss fights become piss easy. Because even though they're doing a lot of damage, you're doing so much healing on the walls, it doesn't matter. I really enjoy the wall. I really enjoy that move. And if anyone says they hate it, they need to die in a fire. The goo, and say the goo. No, wait, if they say they hate it and then says the goo move is better, yeah, right. That goo move is not worth it. In the long run, the goo move is not. It will never help you as much as Repair All or the Destroy Everything move, the Lightning Strike attack. Locke acts like he's gonna start a giant war in the middle of the town. And then, like, everyone's going to start shooting at him or something. And he says, go find somewhere safe. I still wonder about video games. You know how in video games, whenever you have things like wars going on, every time you have a main character, for some odd reason the war would never... I know it's just a trope of video games, but the war is never won unless the main character wins it. And I've always wondered what would exactly happen if your main character wasn't there. Obviously, take this for example. That was a situation where if Locke hadn't showed up, they would have lost the Southern Front and would have been attacked by Mute and his minions, which is another one of Agni's generals. Yeah, but we want the truth. So are you gonna give us the truth, man? Well, that sucked. And you. Up. Spoiler. Guess I'm gonna have to bleep that out in post. Just perfect. Now I have to go online and find a bleeping sound effects that way in it. It would make more sense because, yeah. It'll make more sense in post. What am I talking about editing for? You know, editing is such a great thing. Actually, since I really have nothing to say about this at the moment, except for that we're going to the Southern Front after this, editing is a great thing. In fact, doing these videos, not on YouTube, not as of now, but about 2 years ago I started making YouTube videos. And at making these videos for the past 2 years has really helped me in, you know, it's really helped me as far as growing as a video editor, and it's really made me want to become one as my major job. So I'd hope to one day, use my videos to not only make money, but also to use them as a basis for, showing my skill as far as an editor. Whether it be sound editing, or even video. Doing these type though are not as are just as easy as anything. I somewhat agree with Antude92 that putting a Let's Play video out is kind of easy. However, putting out a quality video is hard, and anyone that wants to do Let's Playing, I think they should give it their best shot, but follow these 3 rules that I've heard from partnered and less popular, and even more popular LPers. Never sound like you're bored. That can ruin everything when you're bored. If you sound like, "Hi guys, let's go play Lots Quest. Hey, look, it's Emmy. And that just, I don't know. I don't want to watch that. Don't put up anything you wouldn't watch, and then remember what you would like to watch and what most people would like to watch. I'd never put up anything that I wouldn't care to watch. Like if I had a video where there was just a bunch of stuttering in my voice, or if there was just a video where literally the game couldn't even be seen, I would never put that up. And there was one more rule. Have fun with it. Don't go in, from the start looking for maybe a job, because then you'll take it a bit too harshly, and then people critique you, and then that'll be a very hard road to live when you're playing video games for the internet, because the internet is cruel. The internet is like life, just hard and cruel. Oh, and something about the internet. Give the internet the middle finger. Because really, the internet isn't a nice thing. No one really likes the internet when they're on it. They usually like to hate, and if you get trolls, don't. I'm not gonna say don't respond to them, but don't ever give them the time. Don't give them the time of day that most people do, where people just say like, "Oh, you're a troll? Hardy har," blah blah blah. Like go back and forth with them, because they're only there to be a nuisance, and that's their only real purpose. Which is odd that you have people that like to annoy you, but that's just life. New track. If this is where the real battle was, then why wasn't I sent here at first? If you've been on the verge, then why is it that they need more Arcaneers? Because obviously you just need to keep pushing. Ever wonder what happens? Like, how do the knights and archers and pikemen use the swords? Has anyone ever wondered that? Ah, great. A healer with more health and stronger. Effect helper. As far as the effect helper is concerned, I don't use it too often. I think it's kind of useless. All it does is it's a support tower that you put up in order to what is it? You use that helper to God, brain's farting. Okay. You use that helper to give towers like your goo trap and your acid trap, or acid bomb. You use them to give those extra effects, or that make their effect last longer. Which to some they might find it useful. To me, not so much. I'd much rather have my damage and my damage revealer and healing helpers compared to helpers that just help my effect ones, because those effect turrets are already somewhat gimmicky. They're only useful in certain maps. No, computer situation is still not fixed as I'm recording this. It should be fixed by the end of August. And speaking of which, it's August 2nd. Now, I've dated this video, so now it has to go up tomorrow. God damn it. on August 3rd, and oh, did again. As far as this section, this defense is the basic defense you should go with. We'll skip ahead to my final defensive one on the final day, but this is the real basic defense you should have. You don't have to put ice traps around your base like that, because there is a very low chance of any clockworks even moving towards that area. But you should really just go ahead and huddle around you should huddle right around the wall, because really huddling around the wall is better effective to yourself, because with huddling around the wall, you don't have to worry about a bunch of clockworks getting in and like destroying them, because now that you're fighting silver clockworks, they do a lot more damage to your walls, and they actually take them down a lot faster than even the wood clockers would have taken down your stone walls. So, and that's one thing I guess I could say about Locke's Quest that is a good thing, even though it doesn't have a huge difficulty spike at any point. It never has a difficulty to where it seems cheap, but also never has a difficulty to where it seems like you can just breeze through the game forever. Some people who don't like tower defenses might feel that this game is a bit too easy for them or whatever. I like it. It's a third-person tower defense, and it reminds me somewhat of Orcs Must Die, or Orcs Must Die reminded me of Locke's Quest, because Locke's Quest came out first, but where in Orcs Must Die, the main character, the War Mage, which I actually have, by the way, on Steam, I might record that one day. Anyway, the War Mage, he, like, when you set up traps, you're setting up traps for the enemies to come towards you, and you have to destroy all the enemies before they get to your main area, location, or objective of defense. And there are other tower defense games. I like this genre overall. It's a very interesting genre, and there are other tower defense games coming out later, like maybe next year or this year. I know one is called Tower Wars, and I watched Total Biscuits, WTF is, or WT, what was it? What do you call it? Like, Wife TF is, Tower Wars, and gosh, Phone. Thanks, Phone. Now I can capture that in post. Anyway. Well, no one will pick up that phone, huh? Anyway. As far as this defense, you can see this is my final defense for this area. Huddling around the wall, putting up your range turrets. You want to make sure that you have your reveal turrets out there, because there are going to be phantom clockworks making their appearances. You also want to make sure that you have damage turrets. Range turrets are the best, because then you're able to, because you're not going to have not that much room for damage. But if you can get some damage out there, that's really good. I went more range than damage on this one, because I wanted more of the enemies to get hit. As you can see, I didn't use the new helper that they gave me, because I still don't find it useful, but alas, that's just the way that some of the walls in Locke's Quest are. The rotogun turret we have now actually gets completely nerfed in comparison to the last turret of the game, which is basically an upgrade rotogun turret in every way. It shoots faster, it reloads faster, it hurts for more damage. It's overall the better one. The only thing that it has going against it is the cost. But other than that, that's a great turret, and I'd recommend, if anyone wanted to switch, just switch to that one if you have the cash to spare. And then the last ability we get, other than the Repair All, and there's the Repair All in use, the last ability we get is actually a ability that gives us a lot more source, so once you get that turret, you can use that ability in tandem to get more of the source, but there's that. Anyway, that's the end of me for today, everyone. See you all on Locke's Quest for part 16.